So you know that Rothschild that just passed away in the mountains of California in a fire? That it took them 33 minutes to put out? That seems very oddly specific. But were you aware that this happened in a place called Laurel Canyon? Are you familiar with Laurel Canyon? Maybe I can refresh your memory or tell you something new here today that you didn't know. Laurel Canyon was the home of Wonderland Air Force Base. Wonderland Air Force Base had created an entire studio on their acres of property. This studio was not just for recording music, but it was also for making films. This was the propaganda arm of our military. And it's pretty fascinating stuff if you think about it, because not only did they infiltrate the music industry, but they also infiltrated the film industry. And this is pretty well known by most of us at this point, at least I hope so. But what's super interesting is that each of the homes up there, many of them, if not all of them, have tunnels that connect to each other underground. Not just to each other, but all the way down into town, all the way down into nightclubs. Fun things like that. There was a huge movement in the 60s when the war was starting out, and a lot of the people at the time, similar to today, wanted nothing to do with it. They were peace-loving people who said, this isn't our fight, I don't want to go to war, and it became a hippie movement. Well, the wonderful Wonderland Air Force Base decided they wanted to put their hand in manipulation into this movement. So they completely manufactured artists such as The Doors, Joni Mitchell, and I could go on. There's so many. But these artists, a lot of them were not even artists to begin with. Some of them had never even touched an instrument in their entire lives. And so they would fly in people into this Air Force Base to make sure that the sound that was coming out of these records was pristine and beautiful, although it wasn't even actually played by the frontmen of these bands. It's pretty fascinating stuff. Apparently they ended these programs after a while. That's what they say anyway. I think they just moved. But Laurel Canyon is also well known for other things too, like Charles Manson and his cult. Here's an interesting connection for you. The guy who ended up buying Wonderland Air Force Base, because now it's decommissioned, is Jared Leto. Yeah, he owns it now. Just think of the things he could produce in that space. And what's interesting is he also seems to have a cult-like following. Yeah. Fascinating stuff. Go down that rabbit hole of the Laurel Canyon. You'll be fascinated, I promise. Houdini even had a house there. In fact, I think you can go on this app and find a video when his house went up for sale or something. Anyway, they toured it, and you could see the lavish gardens, and they even mention the tunnels. These things that you call conspiracy theories actually go way further back than you realize. It's not something that just started in the 21st century. It's been going on for a really, really long time. Do yourself a favor and look into Laurel Canyon. I love you.